Hello everyone, my name is Arkham and welcome back to another SH Figuarts review. But you may be wondering, wait, didn't I already review Gogeta Blue? Yes, I have! This is a re-review! So, over a week ago, I put a poll on my community tab. You guys should always check that out. I'm putting polls every now and then, like every 2 weeks. Asking if you guys would want to see reviews of older figures that I've already taken a look at, especially now that my ways of editing have changed and have been more updated to my own liking, and especially because those videos don't have as much insight as I do now with the amount of figures that I have reviewed so far, which is why I'm doing this video. It shouldn't take long. We're just going to go over them. Again, we've already seen this figure once. And then this guy is just no longer available, so I thought it was a good way of just showcasing, especially if you, the person watching this, wants to get this on the secondhand market. Because he is expensive. At least from what I think. I haven't looked at the prices yet. But yeah, let's get him out and see what he looks like. Yeah. Alright, so here we have Gogeta Blue in all of his mighty glory. So, this guy is the second re-release of the original Gogeta Blue. You may be wondering, how would you know this is the re-release? Wouldn't that mean that he's literally just the same with some slight changes? Yes. In some instances, a re-release can be an updated version with better joint tolerance and whatnot. And sometimes a couple of issues, which I'll get into in a minute. But if you did not know, each Dragon Ball, or each single SH Figuarts, does come with a different set of numbers in the bottom of the feet, if you can get it. So as you can see, it is, on the bottom it says BSP China, but on top of the A, you see the 3 dots. If I can get focus on that. There you go. You can see 3 little dots on there. Usually, the first release of a figure means that it's 4 dots. And actually, I think I have... Do I have one? If I can find a figure that was the original release, I will put it in on the screen to show you the difference. So usually, if it's the first release of a figure, it'll have 4 dots. If it's a second re-release, they remove a dot, and you have 3 now. So this is the second release of this guy that was out. And honestly, some things seem to have been done better in terms, again, of joint tolerance. But one of the biggest issues that that this re-release had throughout multiple copies is the chest. You can see that the chest is extremely glossy. Many people had pointed it out in my original video making a review on this guy, which for some reason is not something that I had noticed at all, which is very surprising. I'm surprised that I did not even consider that a thing. And I think it's just the way that the plastic is. They probably did not make it the same plastic as the arms and the abs and the face, making it a much more glossy piece of plastic, which is weird because the vest and the shoulder pads and everything else is not glossy. The only thing that comes close to being as glossy is the pants, but even then, they don't have much gloss to them, which is weird. Even the hair, while being metallic blue, is not glossy. It's just a metallic blue paint. And then that's another thing I'll talk about in a minute. So, in terms of aesthetic, while he does look like Gogeta Blue, it does sort of suffer of some quality control issues. Again, the chest being the major thing of an issue that he has. And just as another taking a look back, I don't really like the faces on this guy anymore. I feel like with the way that we've been getting a lot of better updated faces, especially compared to this guy, Like, they're night and day. And I understand that this is a 2.0 model, and that Goku is a 3.0. But some 2.0s have really good faces. And I'm just kind of disappointed that this guy did not have them. Granted, he was released around 2019, I believe, originally. So they were not going to update the faces anytime soon. But it was weird that we got a 2022 re-release, and they somewhat did some changes to him, but they didn't. So yeah. Paint application, he doesn't have much. There might be some shading here and there on the abs and on the pants. The pants do have a slight coating of sort of dark grayish, like just some sprinkled throughout. Not the greatest. And again, it's pretty lacking on the back. Surprisingly, mine does have some shading on the right leg, but not the left leg. So again, that kind of stuff will vary copy to copy. So there's that. The metallic blue of the hair. I don't know if it's just because of how old he is at this point. I've had him for 2 years at this point. So maybe it has faded out a little bit, but it doesn't look as vibrant or appealing as it normally should. But yeah. Aesthetic. It's Gogeta. I love Gogeta. But I'm just really hoping one day we get a Super Gogeta. I wouldn't even care if it's a Super Gogeta that's not a Blue Gogeta. Just a Gogeta with an updated facial expression, or updated faces and updated sculpt. So please, Bandai, I don't ask for much besides good figures. Give us a Super Gogeta and a Super Janemba. Please, we're begging you. So yeah. Articulation. This guy has some weird articulation. So, starting at the head, as you can see, my faceplates like to pop off a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why. It might just be, again, because of how old this guy is in terms of in my collection. But it doesn't really go in perfectly, which does come as an issue when trying to look down, because you're gonna get that. I'm pretty sure this guy is using a ball hinge joint, which again, they have moved away from, which thank you Tamashi for doing so. It's just, I'm sad that Gogeta suffered that consequence of still having a ball hinge of a joint. I don't know if it's just me. Does his nose look a little purple or a little blue to you guys? I don't know, in person it might just be the lighting, the blue reflecting on top of the nose, but I don't know. On camera, it doesn't really look that bad. But yeah, you can look side to side, up and down, not much. Looking down, you're gonna pop off the faceplate. Looking up, it's literally non-existent. So yeah. Shoulders. The shoulders are a little bit finicky because you do have the shoulder pads, these little yellow vest shoulder pads that are connected to his arms. They're very much a way of functioning like the Saiyan armor pads from how they had originally done them back in the day. And honestly, they don't hold up that well because every single time you move them, it will move it with itself. So that's something I don't really like anymore. And yeah, so in terms of T-posing, you are going to get some drawback, probably some clashing between the pieces, but you can get his T-pose up to that much. Also, the butterfly joints are going to be sort of in the way, which sort of brings us to the next point. He can get his arms across, not the most, but pretty good. He does have a bicep swivel and a double jointed elbow, but it doesn't work as well, to be honest. So, because the pieces of the arm do clash a little bit, so you're not gonna, you're able to get a 90-degree angle, but you're not gonna go any further than that. So, again, hoping for a better sculpt one day, an updated sculpt, please. For the ab crunch, this is something that I did point out. He has a great ab crunch. He can go forward that much. You are gonna get some gaps on the back, but that's not bad. He can move forward pretty well, Going backwards, pretty good as well, but you are going to get a big gap on there. So that is one of the issues of having a figure that at this point is 5 years old. So yeah. Legs, again, 2.0 model. They are able to do the splits pretty well. Oh, he does have a waist swivel as well. And you can do a swivel on the chest as well if you want to. Pretty much. Hands on our swivels, ball hinges, all that kind of stuff. Sorry for skipping that real quick. He can kick forward that much, which is great. And he can kick backwards this much. Again, one of the benefits of the 2.0 legs is that you can actually kick forward and backwards full on. And then do some splits from now and then. So, I don't hate them, but they're not my favorite leg type of sculpt. Legs. Yes, legs. Or actually, knees. They're old knees, pretty much the regular type of joint. I don't have a single Goku with me that has the same joint or the same knees right now, but they look okay. Again, not horrible. Gaps are always going to be something that you're going to get with figures like these, especially old ones. And then you don't get a calf swivel, which is kind of disappointing. I think they could have done that. You do get a foot swivel, foot pivot, that much. To the right and then to the left, not so much. But you do get forward that much, backwards this much, and a toe hinge. Not horrible. So, articulation, not bad, honestly. I've not taken this guy out of the box in a while, so very refreshing getting my hands used to how he used to feel at the time. So, yeah. Now, let's move on to the accessories, because again, this Gogeta has some accessories. Alright, so for accessories, he doesn't come with much, he comes with some. Starting off with the separate head, the base head, the base super, not the base Super Saiyan, the base form head. God, I can't speak today. So this guy, it's pretty much the exact same head sculpt. Slightly different, actually. It's not actually the same, so apologies about that. The hair does change a little bit with blue. Although I do think that this hair sculpt is much better than the blue. Just kind of comparing them side to side. Like, I really like the way that they sculpted this base head as compared to the blue. Like with the blue, yeah, you still have some of the detail going on, where you can actually see some of the indents of the hair, same as the base sculpt. But you can't really see them as much. I feel like they blend in too much. So, there's that. But it looks nice. It does have pegs as well. You can take off the faceplates, which sort of makes me think that they probably planned faceplates for this base head as well. But they probably didn't do it. Maybe for budgeting reasons, and just decisions in the back of the people making decisions at that point. But yeah, base head looks pretty nice. Smirking, really nice expression. Can you focus? Thank you. There's that. We do have a serious facial expression for the blue head as well. Looking really nice. And we have a shouting facial expression as well, which again looks pretty good. Hands. We do have a set of ki blast shooting hands, grasping hands, and fighting pose hands. That's pretty much it. He doesn't come with much, which kind of leads me to my final thoughts, or second final thoughts of this figure, because originally I gave this guy an 8.5 out of 10. But throughout this video, my opinions have changed a little bit in terms of what I think of this figure. I will say that if you are wanting to get this guy right now, I would say to hold off on it just for the time being, because he is going for around $100 to $120 plus in the aftermarket. If you're wanting to get the original figure. But there is the bootleg that you can get for around 40 bucks or so, maybe less, 26 maybe. So 20 to 40 bucks you can get the bootleg. Now, I will say for this one, I'm gonna redo his score and give him an 8 out of 10. The reason for it, I do think that he still holds up pretty well. It's just that now that I see him in a whole new light, especially after seeing a lot more figures during his release time as well, he could have been done a little bit better. And I'm hoping that in the future we get an updated sculpt of this figure. Not just another re-release. But definitely the shiny chest and the shoulder pads being an issue with posing and whatnot are an issue for me for the most part, because I hate how much they move. I hate how they're not connected to the vest itself, and you actually have to move them around with the arms and shoulders. I hate that. And the chest being super glossy is very weird again. Had not noticed it when I originally reviewed it, but yeah, now I do. But I would like to hear from you guys. I would love to know if you guys would like more of these re-reviews. If you made it this far into the video, I would love to know your opinion. I have a lot more planned, but I won't do them unless you guys want me to. So yeah, that is all the time I have for you guys today. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.